Hi everyone, Sarah Whiting here with St. John's Church Foundation. It is a chilly day in the graveyard. I can't believe I'm wearing a sweater almost at the end of May, but I wanted to share with you some really exciting news. We've made a new discovery about the graveyard. If you're like me, you have some extra time on your hands, and I've been using that time to do some research at night, looking at old newspapers, putting in the search for St. John's Church or Henrico Parish and burying grounds, and I hit the jackpot a couple nights ago. I was on the Library of Virginia's website, and they have this wonderful web page there called Virginia Chronicles, or Virginia Chronicle. I encourage everybody, if you're interested in history and you want to do some research, to go check out that web page because it's digitized newspapers. So I put in my searches, and lo and behold, I was just so excited. Richmond Inquirer, volume 12, number 74, for January 4th, 1816, has a report of interments, in the burying ground of Henrico Parish. And here is a list for the year of 1815, for the entire year, all those who have been buried in this graveyard. So it reads, report of interments. In the burying ground of Henrico Parish, the only public burying ground for white persons in the city of Richmond, Virginia, commencing January and ending December 8, 1815. This is just the coolest. This is incredible. This gives us a breakdown by each month, men, women, boys, girls. So January, let's see, there were 6 men, 6 women, 3 boys, and 1 girl. And it goes all the way through January through December for 1815 and gives a total of 186 men, women, boys, and girls who died. These are white people in Richmond and who are buried here. This is something we have not seen before, and it's so exciting. And what is amazing about this, it lists the diseases of what these people died from. So you have a list of asthma, accidental death, that's 6 people. Bilious fever, 18 people, and that was a term for typhoid. Oh my, 7 people died of bowel complaints. 21 people died of constipation. And it goes on, colic, cold, childbed, that's 4 people. Childbed was a term for women who died after childbirth from infections and the like. Cancer, 2. Croup, 3 died. 1 died of natural death. Dropsy, 5 people died. That's what we call congestive heart failure now. Dysentery, sore throat, 17 people. Fits, that is 3 people. That's epilepsy. Intemperance, that's alcohol abuse or alcohol poisoning, people who died from drinking, that's 6. Inflammation in the brain, 1 person. Liver complaint is 2. Mortification has 5 people who died from it. Mortification is basically gangrene. Miscarriage, 2. Pleurisy is 9. That's that lung infection. Now this is what it's interesting to me. It has listed 4 people died, listed as strangled. I don't think that means they were murdered and strangled. I think that may be some kind of asphyxia or choking. Maybe they choked to death. I want to do some more research on that term. 3 were stillborn. 3 died of teething. Now that could also, that could be for infants who died of teething, but also they used that term for adults. So adults who had abscesses, there were, of course, no antibiotics back then, so they died from tooth infections. Looks like 18 died of unknown diseases, 1 of worms. That is awful. And 6 of nervous fever. That was a term for dementia, senility. You will sometimes see it as softening of the brain. That could be a stroke as well. But, and this was given into, copied from the record by M.L. Chevers, C-H-E-V-E-R-S. If I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry, maybe it's Chevers, clerk of Henrico Parish. So after I found that, I was so excited, I kept looking in the Richmond Inquirer for different dates, and there are some other listings as well. Not as detailed as this January 4th, 1816 listing, but here's one from September 7th, 1816, that lists all white people who died in the city of Richmond in the month of August 1816. 7 men, 5 women, 6 boys, 4 girls, for a total of 22. And it lists the diseases. It also lists the age breakdown. 7 were under the age of 1 year, 3 between 1 and 2, 1 between 10 and 20, I mean, this is amazing. This is going to help us with our research. Now, unfortunately, there are no names in here, but if we can match dates, the months, the day, the sex of the person, we could possibly narrow down causes of death. This one I found interesting. This is a listing in the Richmond Enquirer, October 5th, 1819, and it's listed under the health of Richmond. The following official bill of mortality will show that while so many of our largest sister towns are suffering from disease, Richmond is blessed by an unusual share of good health during the present season. So there must have been an outbreak, maybe some cholera or typhoid in surrounding areas. But for July, August, September, they list the breakdown for men, women, boys, girls, for a total of 55 people who died and who were buried here. Even though it doesn't specify being buried here at St. John's Church, 1819, we know that they must have been buried here, or we're pretty darn sure they were buried here, because the next graveyard to be created after St. John's was Shockoe Hill Cemetery, and that wasn't burying people till 1822. It did open in 1820, but the first interment there was 1822. So this is pretty good information that these 55 people here were buried at St. John's. What is interesting, they list again the diseases: 2 from accidental death, 1 from nervous, just says nervous. Bowel complaints and teething, 22 people died. Gravel, that's 1 person. You may wonder what gravel is. That was a term back then for kidney stones. 1 died from inflammation in the brain. Another died of intemperance, again alcohol. Another of sore throat. Sudden death is 2. That probably is another accident. Oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Sudden death. And there's a little cross here, and below it says 1 killed by lightning. Wow, that's amazing. Another poor soul died of worms, and 5 were died of unknown. And what's interesting about this, it compares the deaths in September 1819 to the deaths in 1818, and there was a big difference. So 64 difference. So apparently the year before there had been possibly an outbreak of another disease. So this is a huge help. This is exciting. I've alerted our intrepid volunteer Lee Ball, and he is going to run with this and do more research. So we are just finding out more and more stuff, and this is really going to help us tell the stories of all those who are buried here. One thing I've heard that sticks in my brain is it's the people who make the place. And that is so true here in the graveyard and at St. John's. Not only the people who are buried here, but also the people who volunteer and work here, and all our supporters and friends. So you all make this place special, and I'm just excited to share this news with you. Yes, I'm a graveyard nerd, and I hope you all are well and staying safe. So take care, and see you next time. Bye.